Viewers, June 4th was supposed to be a day to remember for Bengalureans and Karnatakas. The entire Bengaluru was filled in red, waiting to come back or welcome back really the RCB team and Virat Kohli, with the team ending its 17-year title drought and finally winning the IPL trophy. However, the tears of joy quickly turned into tears of sorrow for fans. A stampede broke out at Chinnaswamy Stadium after more than 3 lakh people turned up to see the RCB stars. Some estimates are this could have been even higher. 11 people lost their lives, many others suffered injuries. Till now, the families of victims have been waiting to find out who failed in their responsibility that led to innocents losing their lives. And today, we have the answers. Times Now is the first and only channel to access the final report of the Magisterial Enquiry set up by the Karnataka government. The 98-page report details each and every lapse that led to the stampede. Before we go to our guests and figure out if culprits have finally been found, let's take you through the key findings from this report. Let's quickly first tell you as far as the first set of findings are concerned, and if you can bring that up on the screen. This is, of course, what it says about the role of the team RCB. They hosted the victory parade without police permission, is what the Magisterial Enquiry Report says. They further go on to say that there was a unilateral social media post that led to overcrowding at the stadium. We also are looking at the fact that they unilaterally announced free passes for the crowd without taking adequate permission from the police. They also go on to talk about, let's quickly bring up the next slide, the victory parade celebration conducted in a hurry, which means that adequate arrangements were not made over there. Let's bring in the next set of graphics. This is the role of DNA, the event organizer, that they organized the victory parade celebration without a police nod. The police did not give permission, is something that was clearly mentioned earlier as well. They failed to deploy sufficient security at the stadium gates. Let's also go on to talk about how they failed to maintain queue system for entry at the stadium is something else that's also mentioned, and that they failed to provide adequate medical facilities and ambulances has been mentioned here as well. As far as KSE is concerned, it failed to take police permission for the celebration is something that's mentioned over here. They further go on to add they failed to maintain effective barricading at the stadium. It's very important because it's mentioned if instead of single there was double barricading, perhaps this outcome would have not come out. Did not give in writing denial of permission for celebration. This is as far as police is concerned, failed to gather additional force for 2 events. This is also the role of the police. Coercive steps not taken to stop the stadium event, and no coercive step taken to stop gathering at the stadium is what has been stated by the police here as well. This is as far as the low role of the police are concerned. Let's quickly take this across to my colleague Imran, who's joining us. Imran, massive news break over here. Finally, we have the report of the one-man commission, which the state government has in fact put in place, and they're talking about the role of RCB, they're talking the role of KSCA, DNA and the police. But what about the state governments and the decision makers? Their role hasn't even been examined, or was it examined in this report?
Well, absolutely, Madhav. Their role hasn't been completely touched about by the report. It was the state had constituted this report under the district collector there, the Magisterial Enquiry, and where in which it gives out, gives complete, blanket clean check to the political class. Not even mention of the fact that there was a deputy chief minister of the Stampede. There was the police had to put adequate security for that, or many of the police force were rushed to at what happened in Vidhan Soda. There was not adequate force there. Only 500 police personnel were there, and not even enough for 2 man at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. There was no ambulance close by, and in fact the stampede started because of the police lathi charge, very clearly mentioned in the report. So a lot of the thing is the fact that they were pressurized to conduct this event. Nothing is mentioned that there. As usual, we've seen that the government has it has narrated the government side very clearly, conveniently laying the blame on the cops, RCB, KSCA and the DNA company. But even just to remind our viewers that the police officers who were suspended by the cops, they all have been reinstated by the government. So the onus of it has clearly been put on RCB, KSC and DNA, whereas the political class has clearly washed its hands off it, and that's what the report has published, and the opposition.
Well, it will be very interesting to see what the government has to say as far as the police officials whose role, in fact, their suspension was criticized by the Central Administrative Tribunal as well, and that order was then reversed. Thanks so much, Imran, for joining us with that quick update. Let's take this across to our guest now.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of BJP. We have Sanjay Sahai, former additional DGP of Karnataka. Tehseen Poonawalla, political analyst, is with us. Ashwini Kumar Mishra is leader of the Congress party. Let me start first and foremost to the basic point. Tehseen Poonawalla, what are you going to do as far as the police officials are concerned? We all know what the CAT had to say as far as the action on the police officials are concerned. Then the government was forced to reinstate them. Are you now again going to take action against them after this report?
The appeal by the CAT will be obviously looked at by the government and suitable legal measures will be taken. The government has said this. But I'm quoting what the lawyer for the government said in court. And he said that the police acted as conduits with the RCB. Please allow me to put this in front of your viewers what happened. RCB announces an event. These are facts that cannot be disputed without police permission. This event, including a tweet, including a video by Virat Kohli, gets over 4 crore views. 4 crore views. Are you telling me the police had no clue this event was happening?
So what about the netas doing?
Please allow me. Please allow me.
So
please
what were the netas doing?
I request you. I request you. Please
DNA,
allow me to finish.
Police,
allow me to finish.
Everyone but the netas.
Questions, but allow me. Let your viewers understand. You ask me the questions.
Yeah, but answer the questions also. There are several questions left.
I have not even began. If you want to interrupt me, I'll keep quiet. Or you allow me to finish.
Make your point, but please, let's stick to the subject. Okay, complete your point.
4 crores views. Now, there's a DCP called DCP M.N. Gowda. He warns the police in writing, including his seniors, that there will be a stampede. Now there are crowds that are coming, unprecedented crowds. You obviously know that this is happening across the city. They're coming in this metro stations, the bus lines, everything is jammed. Police do nothing. How is this allowed? You will recollect, I'm not even making this political. In another Congress ruled state, Telangana, an actor at a private event. I was on your show. A woman died. Your question was, why is the police not acted upon? The police has to keep duty. Now you're telling me why the government acting as the police. Netas will not know what are the technical grounds.
Why do we have a home minister then? Please tell me. Why do we have a chief minister then? They are the ones.
You are supposed to take a police permission, not a home minister's permission.
But they have a role. They are the heads of the administrative departments.
That's true, and that's a good question to ask. The Home Minister should have asked the Commissioner. But that is not responsibility. The responsibility of the police and administrating and creating a green corridor and ensuring those 14 Indian citizens did not die who are youngsters is the police's. And the police
Let me ask the police on the panel.
RCB.
Let's ask the police officer on the panel. We have former additional DGP of Karnataka, Sanjay Sahai. Is it that easy? That just leave everything at the doorstep of the police? Of course. The report does talk about the role of the police, that perhaps they should have been more, assertive, should have prevented the event from taking place, should have denied the permission in writing. All of that is fine. But can our political class in Karnataka completely absolve all responsibility?
It is easy to put the blame of police, and police have been a very standard scapegoat in this country, and precisely the same thing is happening here as well. Now these guys were suspended without being heard at all. It was negligence and dereliction of duty and whatever. And CAT gave its judgment after going through the whole trial, and that judgment came, and all of us are aware of the judgment. There is no need for me to repeat that judgment. When the government goes in appeal, he talks of these police officers as servants of RCB.
Yes.
Now I fail to understand. Now same police officers are reinstated. What will be their loyalty to the government, or they will continue to remain servants of RCB and various other private organizations depending on whatever case and whatever context and situation arises. This same thing was ratified by the central government with all the center, state and all those issues. It was actually ratified by the central government, which means the political dispensations, they have literally no role to play but for extracting compliment and success. Had these things had this particular event been successful, I don't think the political class would have ever said that we have nothing to do.
Absolutely, because all were claiming credit.
From their side.
All were claiming credit at that point.
His pound of flesh. Yeah. Everybody was extracting his pound of flesh. Everybody knew that the whole night police have worked. Everybody knew that the permission has not been granted. If the permission has not been granted and the crowd has gathered there, I think that it is RCB, and let's forget about every other stakeholder. Why should the police even would have done bandobast out there when they have not given permission?
Right, absolutely. And You know, what is very interesting is on the day of the tragedy, Deputy CM D.K. Shivakumar was praising the police. He said that I should compliment my police officers. Then later the role of police officers comes into question. Then their action is taken when they approach the CAT, Tehseen Purawala, and all but one are reinstated. Only the person who approaches the CAT is not reinstated. The other three are. So what is the smack of?
No, 1 second. When the state government took this action, it took it in conjunction with the IPS rules by the union government. They endorsed the state government's action. Now, please,
Union government endorsed it.
The central government, the rules come under the central government.
So
that is what
but the action is taken by whom?
It's taken by the state government. It cannot be. But
so where is the center government?
Sir, you never interrupted the ADG. You allow me to make.
Okay,
if
okay,
you take against the Congress, I'll keep quiet.
No, it's just a simple point. I'm just asking you, where is the zone of center? Please explain. That's it. Now, go ahead.
These rules are under the tribunal, which comes under the central government, and they have been endorsed. Now, please allow me to make my further point. You can argue that the chief minister, the home minister, the deputy chief minister, all of them should have verbally given order, stop this. But the fact of the matter is, and sir out here served in our police officer, it is the officer on duty who should do it. If you fail either in intelligence or in executing your duty, after a video of Virat Kohli, after 4 crore views, after seeing the metro stations being jammed, what do you expect the chief minister, the home minister, deputy chief minister to do? Or the leaders of opposition to come and put barricades
so
and stop
what
them?
were the netas doing over there? They could have very well stopped the event.
The netas
How did they act? By participating in the event?
And took action against
After
the police.
people die and you participate in event, what is that called?
Held accountable. 14 Indians have lost their
Of course,
lives.
police must be held accountable, but everyone
And
must
so
be held
must
accountable.
BCCI and
There
RCB.
should not be any, there are no holy cows in this country. Everyone should be held accountable, including the netas. But let me bring in Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, Tehseen is attempting to link this to the central government, saying that this is all happening under central government rules. Your response to him?
You know, Madhav, let me tell you that Tehseen is blabbering a whole bunch of lies and doing it with rabid impunity. Shame on him for politicizing the ghastly deaths of 11 people with more than 71 injured. You know, truth cannot change just because Tehseen Purawala has blinkers on his eyes. Let me tell you, you know, what the timeline of events is very quickly in 20 seconds. 7:01 a.m. RCB puts out a tweet calling for a celebratory parade. 11 a.m. crowds start gathering near the Chinnaswamy Stadium. At 2:10 p.m. Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar goes to the international airport at Bengaluru, receiving Virat Kohli and the entire team of RCB. Then at 3:14, already between 3.5 to 5 lakh people have gathered outside the stadium. This is something the Karnataka High Court mentioned. This is something which Michael Dakuna's report mentions. And despite Chinnaswamy Stadium having 21 gates, one question which keeps coming up is, why only 4 gates were open? Gate number 4, gate number 2, gate number 18 and gate number 20. And if 5 lakh people were gathered outside, as the report mentions, that means for every 333 people, there was only 1 policeman. Now, you know, you can blame Karnataka State Cricket Association, you can blame Virat Kohli, you can blame RCB. The fact of the matter is, the CEO of Karnataka, please Madhav, 30 seconds. The CEO of Karnataka is who? It is a highly incompetent Congress leader called Siddaramaiah.
Okay.
Who's the deputy chief minister?
So let me put that question. The deputy CM is inside the Chinnaswamy Stadium, Ashwini Kumar Mishra. But let's not forget, the reason that there was, you know, such an abject lack of security at Chinnaswamy Stadium, as we all know, is that there was an event held barely 2 kilometers away at Vidhan Sauda, where the CM, the Home Minister and others were also busy trying to hog credit of these cricketers, trying to bask in their glory, which after 17, 18 years the state has received, which has nothing to do with them incidentally. But that is very much why I'm asking you, why should the netas also not be held accountable?
Madhav, first of all, I don't understand why Sanju Verma or Madhav are worried about the stampede happened in Karnataka and not other stampede happened right after that. Some people
We are worried about all stampedes, sir. Let me put it on record. We are worried about stampede there, everywhere.
I have done at least 20 odd debates on your channel on the Karnataka stampede, but I have not attended.
No, I have not done 20 debates, please.
Puri stampede or some those people fell down from the metro. However, if you're talking about Karnataka, at that point of time, also we said that the police personnel on the ground did the fabulous job. All those individuals, they tried to control the crowd. However, the police management failed to do its job properly. and they were supposed to create proper planning, which they failed to do, and be suspended on the same ground. We also blamed RCB because RCB was the one who was spreading the lies, who was spreading the misinformation rather through social media posts. The worst chaos happened at one particular door because it was an announced through loudspeaker, through social media posts that certain entries are given for free.
Ashwini Mishra,
being distributed for free.
Ashwini
and
Mishra,
crowd jammed at that
if the
place.
police is failing in its management, who is the one who's supposed to take control? Is it not the state government? Is it not the Home Department and Home Minister?
Home departments can take action post it comes to them. And
why not? Why can't they take action when the event is happening?
What do you expect Home Ministry to come put the barricades?
So essentially, Ashwini Mishra, you're telling us that people can keep dying. The government will stare and watch as a mute spectator. It will not intervene. After people die, then Home Ministry will wake up. Is that how things work in this country?
No, Madhav. The moment DK Shiv Kumar got the notice of the event, he called off the event. He asked that organizer to finish the event right away, and he went to the hospital right away. And that is what a leader does.
Sir, he claimed that very day that 15,000 police officers were deployed, and the court you came out and said that about 1,000 officers were deployed. That's the kind of discrepancy in terms of the numbers. I'm sorry. Who?
They.
Who? Which they?
The RCB and the police. That's why action is taken.
RCB deploys the police?
Under the All India Service
RCB deploys the police or the state government deploys the police?
Both. If the deputy CM is saying 15,000,
I'm sorry.
And they were not deployed,
I'm sorry.
Even
RCB and KSC is supposed to depute police. That is, a mind-blowing argument. I've never heard of such a thing.
They misled even those in government. Where were the 15,000 police people?
Sanju Verma,
Where were the 15,000
RCB was supposed to deploy the police.
No, the police.
That's what you just said.
Both.
Yeah.
The police on the number of people and RCB on permissions.
Sanju Verma.
Madhav, I just want to make one thing very clear. Let's not forget that 314, the hospital, Bowling Hospital, recorded the first death of 13-year-old, 13-year-old Divyanshi at 3:14 p.m. But the event went on in the stadium till 6 p.m. And at 6 p.m. there are photographs of Siddaramaiah, his grandson, and Virat Kohli going clickety-click, happily clicking photographs when people have been dying outside the stadium. By 6 p.m. Siddaramaiah was already aware 71 people had been injured and 11 deaths had been recorded. My simple question is, how can a chief minister continue to engage in festivities knowing that a few feet away a horrifying tragedy has happened? That is insensitivity at its worst. Forget about who is responsible. I repeat, it is the chief minister, it is responsible. I repeat, law and order is a state subject under the 7th schedule of the constitution. So Siddaramaiah, his law minister, his home minister, everybody should resign. But my more important question is, when you were aware that people are dying, why were you busy clicking photographs with Virat Kohli? Thodi sharam aati hai ya nahi? Siddaramaiah.
Ashwini Mishra, respond to that. Respond to that, Ashwini Mishra.
So when Amit Shah is resigning for Pahalgam and when Modi ji is resigning for doing a rally right after the Pahalgam and not visiting the Pahalgam, what kind of statement you are making, Sanju Verma ji? Have some logic around it. So Mr. Amit Shah should also resign for the Pahalgam, taking the accountability, and Mr. Modi should also resign because he was doing a political rally in Bihar.
Okay, this whataboutery is what is the most insensitive. Ashwini Mishra, please, this whataboutery, accountability at all levels of government, in principle is fine, but let's please come back to this report which we have just broken, which raises some very serious questions of accountability of the state government.
We clarified about that point of time also, that the moment we came to know about the incident, we called off the event.
No, sir, that is not what happened.
He gave a media bite that point.
That is not what happened. That is not what happened. I can tell you, I was in the studio at that time when that news was breaking, and it really pains all of us to see that despite news of deaths coming in, that event was not called off. That is where the kind of insensitivity that we've seen on the part of the organizers really comes to the fore. And all have to take responsibility, whether organizers or netas or police. Sanjay Sahai, this kind of argument that, we called off the event on time, we all know what happened. It played out live on television, national television for the matter.
How many of the political class were examined in the Magisterial Enquiry and in the Judicial Commission? And how can they come to a final decision or findings when they have not basically examined one of the main stakeholders, and as per law and as per constitutional mandate, might be the main stakeholder. If you take all the documentation which the government has, inclusive of the police, RCB, KSCA, and put them together and run a artificial intelligence crawler on it, you will find discrepancies after discrepancies in the findings, in the responsibilities, in the accountability. If 7:01 a.m., if a tweet comes on X, there is a post on X, I think the powers that be in Karnataka, the political power, I think all of them were aware of it, and the way people follow the social media and the political class, I think anybody in power should have sent a tweet returning that this we don't subscribe to, and this is not an official function. One line would have done wonders.
Absolutely. Respond to that. Respond to that.
And 314, no, 1 second. 314, this free pass thing has come, and 315, the child dies. How does it in 1 second some 5 lakh people came or what?
Exactly. And Tehsil, 108 witnesses were examined by this committee. Mr. Sahai has asked a very pertinent question. How many members of the government and how many politicians have been actually examined by this? 10 eyewitnesses who were present there. Were any netas examined? Can you tell us, Tehsil?
Let me answer the first part and then second. He is absolutely right, Mr. Sahai. The 5 lakh people cannot come in 1 minute. He's absolutely right. Therefore, it is precisely the failure of the police to identify in a city like Bangalore so many people are coming. Sir, you've served in our police. Would you not know if a crowd of 5 lakh, a mob of 5 lakh is coming? What were the police doing? Acting as conduits for RCB. I don't want to use the word servants. I don't like that, sir, for people in offices. But what were they doing? And this please. Are the
netas aliens to Bengaluru?
One sentence I've not been interrupted. It doesn't happen.
The point is,
why is it that the BCCI and cricket bodies can act like bullies, whether it's an India-Pakistan match or it's an event without permission, and nobody knows this bullying. Behind whose son are they bullying? Which powerful person are they using to bully people? These are the questions we have to ask.
That's a very, very relevant debate. We've debated India-Pakistan also. But Tehsil, in this case, I'm not going to let you interrupt or hijack the agenda, because the simple question is, what is the role of the netas? If police was supposed to do it, what are the netas doing? Are they aliens from Mars? They don't know what's happening in their own city?
Question. So let's assume, Sanjay ji, 1 second. Let's assume the Home Minister comes to... Sanjay ji, 1 second, please. Let's assume the Home Minister comes to know 5 lakh people are coming in that minute or 5 minutes or whatever. What do you expect the Home Minister to do and the Home Ministry? To go and put barricades or the job of the police?
So they can instruct the police to do that and cancel the events. No, they didn't cancel the event. That is the whole point. No, I'm sorry. Netas were there after the deaths happened, and that's a sad reality. However much you try to argue it. Sanju Verma wants to respond to you. Sanju Verma.
Thank you. You know, Tehsil can engage in whataboutery for all I care. But Madhav, the most important point is this, which the Justice Dakuna Commission report mentions. He says one thing which we've not discussed yet. He says the Chinnaswamy Stadium is in such a shabby condition that forget 3 lakh or 5 lakh people. It does not have the capacity to even host 3,000 people. Forget the official capacity of 30,000. A permission should not have been given, and my limited point is this. Justice Dakuna asked 3 questions of the state government. Why was there no emergency response by way of ambulances available? Why was there no integration of public transport related infrastructure? And why were the state police not manning the entry and exit gates and the bus stops at the doorstep of the CEO of Karnataka?
That's right, Siddharamaiah. Thank you for taking our point.
Reports into Siddharamaiah. The police reports.
What do you want to achieve? You put constables on gates. What kind of argument?
There is a Home Minister. There is a Home Minister. There is a Chief Minister attending a function. They would look at and they know by at least from seeing what kind of people there are. No. Government has to be held accountable, sir, at every account. You can hold the central government to account, the UP government to account, but the Congress government in Karnataka won't be to account. That is not acceptable. Every government has to be accountable. It is the people who are electing them. By all means, raise those questions. Ultimately, when the lives of common citizens are snuffed out due to irresponsibility, it is our duty to ask these questions. Sanju Verma, Sanjay Sahai, Tehsil Poonawala, Ashwin Kumar Mishra, thanks so much for joining us this evening.